Hey everyone, welcome. My name is Megan Skidmore, and this is the Beyond the Shadow of Doubt podcast, where my goal is to bring the traditionally somewhat taboo topic of doubt and questioning out of the shadows of shame and into the sunlight. In my training through the Life Coach School, I learned the model that was created by Brooke Castillo. So I'm going to try to share the model with you right now in a nutshell. Okay, so we'll start with, first of all, everything in the world can be categorized into one of five things: a circumstance, a thought, a feeling, an action, or result. Circumstances are anything that you have no control over, like the weather, can be proven in a court of law. Pretty much everyone in the world would agree upon. It's factual, neutral. Our thoughts is one sentence in your mind. Sometimes these thoughts or sentences in our mind are triggered by our circumstances. Our thoughts then cause our feelings. So we will feel a certain thing. A feeling is a one-word description of a vibration in our body. We feel a certain way, and that causes us to act a certain way. We come from that place of whatever it is we're feeling. Our actions, this actually includes two things, both those things that we do, those things that we don't do, our behaviors and our inactions, not taking action or doing nothing, something we do or something we don't do. And then our results are what we create. They are the effect of our action, what we are actually creating for ourselves. So for instance, if you bake a lot, then your result is you have a nice warm homemade loaf of bread. If you overeat, then your result is you feel stuffed and bloated and possibly even put on weight. Or if you forget to fill up your vehicle with gas, then your result is you get stranded on the freeway. So using the model helps us increase this awareness of our thought process. The ability, it enables us, increases our ability to pause and consider what is going on as we learn to be the watcher of our thoughts and then ultimately create an outcome or result. You want your results to be your results that you've created based on the actions that you've taken. And as your coach, I teach you to do this on purpose, to think, say, do, be on purpose. Now, important to note is whatever results we create is always going to be evidence of the thought. If we go back to the thought line in the model, because that is what drives everything else. And this line, the second line of the model, the thought line, is arguably the most important part, because that is where our power lies. Because again, the model, everything is driven by our thoughts. This thought that is a sentence in our brain, that's it. That's all it is. And we have thousands upon thousands of these thoughts every day. So in other words, thousands of sentences running through our brains all day long. Translation, we are telling ourselves a whole lot of stuff all day long. It's automatic. Our brain is efficient, so it's going to go towards the thoughts we use most often. That's the easiest way. It uses the least amount of effort. That's what our brain is going to do. So what thought work does is it helps you interrupt this process and then decide, which ones to keep and which ones to let go of. This is important because sometimes these thoughts are for our overall good, yet other times our thoughts or these sentences in our brain, not so good. They cause us pain or hurt or confusion. And because they are so automatic, often we don't even realize that they are there and the source of this pain or hurt or confusion. So in my training as a coach, right, we connected the dots between a thought and a belief. A belief is simply a thought that you have thought over and over and over again. The more we have certain thoughts, the more ingrained it becomes in our brains, literally. They are called neural pathways for a reason. It's like the difference between a concrete sidewalk or a little dirt path. The thoughts that we think the most are like going down that concrete sidewalk. It's easier, it's established, stronger, it's there. The little dirt path is rough because we've only taken it maybe once or twice. It's not the easier path. There might be rocks, there might be snakes, there might be, who knows, things that would trip us up. Anyway, our brains are all about efficiency, and so we'll always go to our habit brain to pick from our thoughts. And again, these ultimately produce our feelings. And then that thought feels true because you believe it is true. And I call this the anatomy of a belief. I've just tried to break it down to communicate this idea of what a belief is. Because I think where we feel threatened as humans in challenging a belief is when we forget to come back to the basics of what a belief actually is. We forget that we got to choose it in the first place. Or we may not realize that we did, in fact, choose it. Or perhaps we don't realize that maybe we were borrowing a belief. So that is what makes coaching so remarkable and why I love it so much is this awareness is significantly increased that we get to choose what we think or do or say on purpose. There is not a whole lot, in my opinion, that is more empowering than choosing to think or believe something on purpose, even if you already once believed it, then questioned, then returned to the belief. The process of exercising autonomy over our beings, our core beings as humans, is so, so empowering. And it's so important because this is where the growth happens. Not much growth if you didn't choose a thought or belief on purpose, or if you're borrowing it. There could be some growth going on, but not the type of growth that happens when you exercise autonomy and choose on purpose your beliefs and your thoughts. If you have found value in this message, please share this podcast with others that you feel could also benefit. And if you don't have a coach yet, what are you waiting for? Bring me your biggest concern, problem, struggle, doubt, whatever it might be. Your first visit with me is always complimentary and no strings attached. Free coaching, who wouldn't love that? And if you haven't already, you can connect with me on social media. I'm on Facebook, Megan Skidmore Coaching, and I'm on Instagram. It's the little @ Megan Skidmore Coaching, all one word. Make sure you spell Megan, MEAGAN. And then I have a website. You can find me at https:// Megan Skidmore Coaching, all one word, .com. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day and for joining me. Until next time, bye for now.